Helpful for life.
All right, let's talk about how to chop up cilantro. And in this case, we're using cilantro, but it's pretty similar for a lot of herbs like parsley or something like that. So the first thing we're gonna do is obviously you wanna wash your herbs as well as any produce you get. You wanna wash it and then kind of dry it off so it doesn't get too wet on your cutting board. And then be careful, they'll have a lot of times a little wire thing that holds them together. So you just keep that in mind. I'll just kind of slide it down towards the bottom and we're gonna cut off basically right above that. We've got the bottom of it has thicker stems, and you know, I think it's perfectly fine to eat. It's just more of a texture thing. We focus more on the nice leafy section. So I'm gonna take this in my hand and basically I'm just gonna do the same pinch and curl technique. I'm gonna rock my knife across to give it kind of a rough chop. And then I'm gonna rotate the other direction to get it a little smaller. The things with herbs you have to be careful about is you don't wanna cut too much or you'll get them crushed and they will lose their texture and they won't look as appealing. So you wanna make sure you're not cutting too much. And then when you do cut, make sure that you're cutting it all the way through and not just mashing it. So a sharp knife is good for this. So yeah, just run through that knife with that rocking motion. Pick out any big stems if you see some that you may not want to eat. And this last part here is mostly stems, so I'm going to get rid of that as well. Okay, so then I'll just go the other direction. And it's gotten a little smaller, but we like it much smaller for our pico. So another technique you can use is you can keep your left hand or your non-dominant hand on the tip of the knife, and then you can even move your grip down like this if you want for this technique, and just kind of chop like this. Make sure you clean off the blade every now and then, and if you are going to scrape with the knife blade side down, make sure you're doing it at a shallow enough angle where you're not going to dull the blade. But do that to scoop underneath it a little bit, move this around, see how it's looking. I like it a little more fine than this, so we'll keep going. Again, don't be afraid to be forceful because you want to make sure that you cut through and that you're not just bruising the herb. All right, so this is about where we want it. So this is how you chop up cilantro or most other kinds of herbs. Enjoy.